cut me, dude. I think I'm dying here, man.
Welcome to the 3B Video Deep Cut Podcast.
Watch a few movies, take a few notes. It was fun.
Aw, yeah. It's that time again for another bi-weekly podcast with your hosts, Rotten Roger DeMarco and...
We live again. This is Evil Dead Inks.
Not Lynx.
Nah, fucking bullshit.
Evil Dead Lynx in the house. That's right. Here we are again. Another 2 weeks have gone by and we're still in the Evil Dead franchise. But
barely.
Kinda, sorta. So this episode we're going to be covering the Evil Dead video game, not Hail to the King, not any of those other ones. We're covering the brand new Evil Dead game. For Xbox One, PS4, PS5, Xbox, whatever the hell, and
XS, everything but the Switch apparently as of this moment in time.
Yep.
It's still trying to get to the Switch, which, well. Crossplay enabled, so whatever you've got, you can play with anybody who has it, except if you have a Switch. But
those poor Nintendo fans.
I was not really for the Switch a great deal until I bought one for my youngest, and now I'm kind of coming around more and more and like, it's not that bad. Like, I initially was not for it at all. Like, this is a dumb idea.
It's cool because you can take it on the go, kind of like a Game Boy. But I guess I just haven't been a Nintendo supporter since, like, the Lame Cube, really.
I did not. Well, I didn't even get on with the N64. That was my jumping off point. I was like, I don't like the controller. This is stupid.
I had a 64, but I also had the Lame Cube. I let a friend from high school talk me into getting a Lame Cube, and I immediately regretted my decision because all the games were pussified. But that's neither here nor there. We're talking about the most bloody, disgusting, ridiculous Evil Dead game to date.
I figured since we did it for Friday the 13th, why not do it since it's topical for Evil Dead to round out, at least at this moment in time, the end of the franchise with, this game, which encompasses everything from The Evil Dead to Ash vs. Evil Dead, with characters you can play as either hero or Kandarian demon, which this game's been out for, a couple of months now, maybe 2 months.
Yeah, I know school was just getting out, so yeah.
Yeah, like early May. So a little over 2 months, and I still have yet to play as a Kandarian demon. I've just been playing as a hero.
I have yet to play double-digit games. So I'm not necessarily an expert when it comes to games, and if you've listened to this podcast for any length of time, or if you're new, you will quickly discover that I, myself, am not a gamer. But Evil does fancy himself a bit of a gamer, has a pretty big collection of games, plays a lot of games, and is really digging this game. So, I'm getting there. I think my biggest deterrent with this game is the amount of time it takes to play one round.
Yeah, an average round match on this it's set up almost exactly Dead by Daylight, and it's a 4-on-1, 4 heroes versus one person playing as the demon. And it's about a half hour roughly for a good match. I mean, I've had some where I've just got my ass handed to me and within a few minutes. But you are a group of 4, which you can be all 4 Bruce Campbell Ashes from the different sequels and TV show, and they all have different categories. Like, this Ash is good for healing. Mm-hmm. This Ash will make you not scared of shit. This Ash is really good at leading people. Or you can be, somebody else, like
Scotty.
Yeah, like Raj has been a big fan of using Scotty.
I think, also another problem I have is the fact that there can be 4 Ashes. And I had this discussion with our Tech Man remix the other day. I showed him the trailer for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game, and he was like, I think that's going to kill the game because, everyone's going to want to be Leatherface, and then they're going to get stuck being the cook or the hitchhiker. And I'm like, no. Like, you're not well versed in the world of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but each one of these killers has a unique set of abilities, so it's going to make people want to play as them. Not everybody's going to want to be the Mongoloid with the chainsaw, but the big problem with the Evil Dead game is everybody loves Ash, so everybody wants to be Ash, and they all have these pre-recorded voice lines that they say when they get scared or whatever, and so it's cute and endearing, at least it was for me for the first couple of games, but when you get 2 or 3 Ashes and they're all like groovy, all saying Ash lines, I start to get like soundboard annoyed. Like, okay, can we get Scotty? Can we get Henry the Red, which is what I like when I play with you. You play as Henry the Red most of the time, so I don't have to hear Ash all the time.
You get to hear a big red, angry, like scared shitless Scotsman. Because Henry gets scared at the drop of a hat. Probably because, he's just out of his time, which is probably the funniest thing to do is to drive the car as Henry the Red, because he doesn't know what he's doing. This is black magic shit to him.
What a piece of armor this is.
I'm going to drive it. This has more than a horsepower. That's still kind of the case. Like, even after 2 months, I'm not like, I don't see too many Henry the Reds being played, and I even got complimented one time from a rando playing as Henry the Red. It was actually the demon in a match. Like, he possessed me, used me, and just fucking annihilated the rest of the team. And he messaged me after. He's like, dude, what did you do to your Henry the Red? He's a tank. I just took out your whole team in like less than a minute using your Henry. I'm like, I just maxed out his melee, and he has all of his like attacks are to the max. And I happen to be carrying like an epic machete graded weapon. Or it was a meat cleaver. It was a meat cleaver, but it was every weapon you have is ranked as well. Like, oh, this cleaver is a common. Mm-hmm. This one's legendary. This one's epic. So literally like 2 swipes with this meat cleaver at a high rate of speed and you're fucking done. So
Henry the Red on steroids, man.
So it was nice to finally get a message that wasn't, telling me I was garbage.
You're trash.
Trash.
Why are you so trash at these games?
No, it's actually someone complimenting my building of my Henry the Red character.
I'm kind of excited to see, if this game, we've seen that they're going to implement some Army of Darkness maps, and you and I are kind of both like waiting for Mia, and I think a lot of the fan base, the game base, people want Mia from the 2013 film. So, I'm kind of waiting to see what extra stuff we're gonna get.
A lot of people I've seen, at least I've been raiding the Evil Dead the game subreddit, and a lot of people are like, we want the blacksmith from Army of Darkness.
With the big old mustache.
Yeah, Baldu with the mustache. Like, I could get behind that, but I think it's, at least at this point in time, it's all been pretty much said that the first DLC is going to be Chet, which is Ted Raimi's bartending character from the TV show, which I like that that's a bonus thing. When you go and loot all these crates littered throughout the map, they're loaded with his drink Pink F, because they can't say pink fuck. But I love it. That's what we pick up, and it's X amount of like points and extra bits you can add on to your guy, like extra like melee attacks, increase your stamina, decrease your fear. And I like being like, that's all that shit's got ketamine in it. It's just a shitload of ketamine.
Right. I also like that the health drink is the Shemp Cola, which is, as soon as we saw that, the very first time we played, we're like, yes, like that is what's up. In this game, does a really good job of recreating some of those set pieces that we're used to. Very like Friday the 13th game level attention to detail. The only sadness I have is with the Nobi cabin that you can't go down into the basement. Like, and I'm hoping that eventually they make it so you can.
I don't know. I remember that was the first thing that was like, that maybe the only thing I remember you having like a Friday the 13th moment in, because a lot of times playing that you're like, we're doing this in this location. Isn't that crazy? Mm-hmm. And only one time that happened playing this where you're like, we're a bunch of goons standing in the Evil Dead cabin right now, and it looks pretty identical.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking spot on. If only we could get in between the walls too.
I mean, there's enough room. Henry the Wreck could fit his fat ass between those walls for sure. That's one of the few things I thought they didn't quite get 100% nailed is some of how a couple of the characters' faces look. Of course, they did an excellent job. They had to on making every Ash look pretty spot on to the Ash of the particular film.
For sure.
The Evil Dead looks like very young, naive Bruce Campbell. Ash vs. Evil Dead Ash is an old, gray, sideburn tip.
A little thicker in the face.
Yeah, maybe 40 pounds overweight.
Yeah.
But I feel like they didn't nail Annie. She just looks super.
Same thing with Scotty. They were real chintzy on the.
They look very Resident Evil. Extra in the face. Like there's not that prominent jawline for Annie. Henry looks all right, and Arthur looks pretty okay, but don't have a whole lot of his face. I have seen a lot of Arthur's being played, but I think that's just because it's bragging rights for getting through all the goddamn not campaign, but I guess the single player missions, which
I haven't even touched them yet. So again, I'm not an authority in that whatsoever. You've said they're hard. Our buddy TA says they're hard. Of course, our Techman remix was like, I beat them, no problem. I beat them the first try. Because that's him. He's a fucking cyborg and he can play video games. But yeah.
Maybe he just found the glitches, which that's probably the other biggest complaint that came up is I didn't feel like this was as big a deal on Friday the 13th. Like we had it occasionally. We reported it, and it was pretty much done with. It was
JasonKillsBugs.com.
Yeah, it was a rare... the biggest bug was game crashes. That was our biggest problem there, but man, did fucking these hackers just go to town on this Evil Dead game. And it's always the people playing as the demons. Because you get 4 minutes into a match, and it should kind of build, if you're playing a demon, to get to the point where you're possessing different deadites and people. And I've had a handful of matches where I start out and I'm already getting my ass handed to me by somebody possessing a deadite, which is somehow stronger than when you get to bring a boss in. As a Kandarian, you get to bring in all these little minions that are pretty easy to handle.
Yeah.
And you build up to be like, all right, now it's Evil Ash, or it's Henrietta, the boss, coming in to clear house. But they're not ever really as big a deal as if when the player possesses a random deadite and just fucking kicks the shit out of you. That's the matches that are uber quick. But I do like that's the main difference for me between that and Dead by Daylight. Dead by Daylight is fun, but I feel it suffers from what you don't like about it is you can't really fight back.
You can't do nothing but run and hide.
Except shining a flashlight in his face.
Well, and if you're an aggressive player, you're not you're not a bitch. I have always been the player who wants to go out on my shield. I want to fight. I want to throw down. I don't mind if I die, but I want to die swinging. And that's my issue with Dead by Daylight, where Evil Dead, it definitely satisfies that
bloodlust.
Yeah, the melee bloodlust. You get to really beat some ass. Whereas in Friday the 13th, you can get a swing in here and there. But with this, you're just horde moding it, just slapping the shit out of monster after monster. And it's very satisfying, I will say that.
Yes, I feel they implemented the killing style of Bloodlust is for the movies, adopted well for the game. You are going to get covered in blood. You're going to kick skeletons in non-existing testicles.
Yes.
Good time there, and a lot of different variety of weapons. Most of which are stuff that makes sense. Kind of it fits into the lore. The only one that doesn't, I feel, is this saw gun thing.
That is a little weird.
I was like, oh, this got just ported over from Gears of War.
It's very it's just very stock, awesome video game weapon. Okay, where the baseball bats, the double barrel shotguns, machetes, baseball bats with nails in them, whatever it may be, they all feel very like true to the environment. But yeah, that saw gun it's a little bit of a noggin scratcher.
I'm interested to see if they bring in other types of guns. Like I think everybody wants Kelly to be rocking like a machine gun.
AK-47.
They do have that one gun that's super bizarre. I can't remember the name of it, but it looks, every time I look at it that I see it in the game, it's a single shot.
The blunderbuss?
Yeah, the blunderbliss. Every time I see it, I just think 1715.
Yeah, fucking Predator 2 reference, deep cut.
I was like, this is Danny Glover's pistol in here. I'm gonna blow shit away with it. Take it. Which I've started to try to get better with using the guns, because that's where I'm, to go back to the single player missions, that's where I'm currently, as of this moment recording, stuck, is on the third mission of right now 6. And yeah, I've tried. I've been practicing trying to get better at headshots, because if you're not
proficient in headshots,
yeah, which my another little shot to like fuck you Slash and Cast, because they put up videos of like how to get through these missions, and Riley's just fucking like casual as shit, like you just gotta shoot all these guys in the head, and I'm like, fuck you. How are you doing this? Like, I don't know what he's doing, but they seem a lot more aggressive, and I'm a lot worse shot than he is doing this.
He's got them steady, like, young man nerves, and we're old, shaky, we forgot to take our Prilosec OTC or whatever, you know?
It's the booze, it's a bad scene, I'm all shaky. Yeah, watching his videos, he's like just plowing through these things like nothing, and I'm just fucking struggling. And it really is disheartening how casual it is. I'm sure it probably took 12 hours to get that. Or
right.
I want to believe that anyway, that he was able to do that. I like the other half that spectrum. You mentioned my buddy TA has been playing, and he messaged me like 3 a.m. one day, and he's like, my heart is racing. I'm about ready just to pass out from like the excitement. And I'm like, what's wrong? He's like, I got Arthur. I finally got Arthur. I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, thought something bad happened.
Yeah, well, he keeps weird hours anyway, so I always said, it's like, if you have the compulsion to call or message me in the middle of the night, feel free. I may not answer, but yeah. Don't feel like you're going to wake me up or some shit. Just leave me whatever you're going to tell me. And yeah, he was just, I got him. Which I've made peace. I'm never going to get Arthur unless someone else comes over.
Does it for you, yeah. Hey, remix.
I hire a ringer to come over and win it for me.
Yeah, I will also never get it, because to be honest with you, I probably never will play those. Like, the enjoyment I get is playing it with our team, our crew. And like you said, each game takes roughly a half hour unless you just get absolutely trounced. And so it's very difficult for me to like carve out like a 2-hour block so we can get 4 games. Like,
which is funny because we used to carve out that as a minimum for Friday the 13th.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know what the formula is that will lure Roger back in full force like we had that chemistry we had for Friday the 13th. But hopefully it's coming.
Maybe Texas Chainsaw.
Hopefully it's coming soon with that. Maybe. But I've dug the Evil Dead the game mode. I've been trying to level up several characters, jumping around, doing different things. I think matches can go a lot faster when we do have our buddy TA with us, because he's former military, so he actually is very good at strategizing.
Yeah.
So he was actually able. I was talking with him the other day, and he's like a smart man's mechanic on how to hack. Like, he's not hacking like he's going in and changing fucking codes and shit and, cheating systems in the game. He's like, okay, if people are more than likely on a map are starting over here, here, and here, and this is here, then the map pieces, which are not apparently located for him, like the Kandarian dagger and the map, or should be between here and here. So he's very good at like, all right, so in those 2 places, I'm going to set up a shitload of traps.
Nice.
So he's really good at strategizing, like attacking people with using his brain power.
He's got my Jason Voorhees trap mentality.
Yeah, he'll set a trap between 2 fucking trees because he knows some asshole's going to run between them.
Very good at that.
Normally me, but yeah, he's a master strategist in playing, and he recently started playing as the Kandarian demon and doing really well with that using Henrietta, because I guess the first wave of hackers were using Elagos from the TV show for hacking. Like, they were finding ways to just constantly electrocute the shit out of people.
Yeah.
And then it went over to not Henrietta, but Evil Ash. Like, they were finding ways to spawn like 1 million minions on that. And he was like, I'm going to just use Henrietta because no one likes using Henrietta at the moment. But yeah, he's been killing it on that. So we get that our team together. Yeah, it can be a whole lot of fun.
Yeah.
I like the first time we're like, can we use any of these cars? Because there's cars littered throughout the map.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even have to load it up with gas or get a car battery for it.
This is way easier than Friday the 13th.
I don't have to find keys or nothing. Just go in and start it. We have the skeleton key of car keys.
Yeah, it's a screwdriver.
Yeah, we just T2 that shit. Start up every car.
I see everything.
I guess the only downside is anytime you start a car, the Kandarian demon doesn't know where you are when a match starts until your fear goes to an exceeded level, or you jump in a car. Then he can see immediately where you are. Again, all things I'm been told and assume. I've never played as a demon yet. I just like playing as a hero. I get too fucking wound up trying to take on 4 people. Like, I'd rather have 4 versus 1 than 1 versus 4.
Right. Which is odd because you really did like playing as Jason occasionally.
Yeah, but I mean, again, it's my other thing is I know that when you're playing as the demon, you're back to a first-person perspective, which is exactly like Dead by Daylight.
Yeah,
where
I'm not a fan.
As a hero, yeah, you're in third person, which is my preferred viewing point of a game. If I'm playing it, I want a third-person perspective. I don't know any damn games I'm like, I prefer a first-person point of view. Even driving games, like, give me a third.
Let me see the car so I know what's around it. Yeah.
That's got to be just old man gaming mentality. Like, that's Nintendo shit.
Right.
Like, I'm used to seeing everything. Show me everything.
On Rad Racer, I could see the car. Yeah, we are old. It's fine. But
do you know anyone that does that play, like, I know in every racing game you can change perspectives, like the 2 overhead views, and you can get one where you're like fucking in the car and you can see your hands like on the wheel adjusting the gears. Like, who does this?
My son.
Really?
He likes to drive in first person. I think it's because he can't drive in real life yet. So it's like, this is like driving. Like, man, not really, but I mean.
Wow, I like that. It's the same excuse. Like, it's just reversed for us. Like, this is like driving.
Yeah, because, you know, when you're driving for real, you can look out the windows to your right and left. Whereas if you're driving in a video game, you can only see directly in front of you, and that's kind of sketch.
I think some of them you can slightly turn your head. I feel like I've played a few where you can kind of turn and look a little bit to your left and right, but at least driving in Evil Dead, you have third perspective, and man, how would you rank you always thought I was pretty on point driving in Friday the 13th. How have you enjoyed my driving skills for Evil Dead?
It's different. It's way more. It's like aggressive. I don't know how to explain it. Like, it feels faster, so there's a lot more crashing. A lot, you know what I mean? Like, it's. That
was an immediate meme I saw. Someone did the fucking Mean Girls meme, like, get in, loser, we're gonna go crash into trees.
Yeah, the memes that you've posted in our Discord for this game are fan-fucking-tastic.
That's just me mining the subreddit, finding those fucking daily. Yeah, you run into a shitload of trees. I drive a lot more. I definitely do drive more recklessly, because in Friday the 13th we only have 2 cars,
right,
and limited to 2 to 4 people in a particular car. Every vehicle on there, and there's 4, 5, 6 vehicles per map on Evil Dead, and 4 people can fit in every car.
Yep.
And it's not, you're never escaping. There's no point in escaping the map. So it's
you're just traveling to the next objective, essentially.
And every objective is like 800 fucking meters away from you, so it's a lot of walking through the woods, so you just want to drive in the car.
Speaking of objectives, least favorite objective, the dark ones. I don't like it. I remember the first time I saw it when I did the tutorial, and I'm like, this is okay. Like, and that Honest Game Trailers thing nailed it perfectly. Like, you're running around like a bunch of budget Ghostbusters, like, blah, shooting this fucking lightning ray.
Proton pack.
Yeah. It's kind of silly, because it's like, it's so, like, the difficulty level is so low to defeating them. You know? I mean, unless you're standing absolutely still, you're not going to get...
I mean, you can get hit, but
yeah, you can get hit, but you're not going to get, like, killed there. Like, there's no... I'm never, like, afraid I'm going to die there.
It's if anything, it's the spot after that, because... All right, I don't know. I'll be semi-laid out what the gameplay is if you've not been playing this, but what you do as a hero in this is you start out, and you've got to find... They give you a vague direction on where a piece is, but your first thing is you got to find 3 pieces of a map. Mm-hmm. And once you find 3 pieces of a map, one at a time, then you get the locations on the map where you have to find the Kandarian dagger and the lost pages of the Necronomicon. And when you get to where they are, you just hit collect where they are in a random spot, and you got to fight off a horde that just will keep coming after you for a length of time while this meter fills up. Like, now I actually have the Kandarian dagger. Okay.
Right.
And you got to do that for both. You got to have the dagger and the pages. And once you've done that, then another thing will pop up on the map where the dark ones are.
You got to take these budget ghosts out.
Yeah, you got to go where the dark ones are, shoot this laser out of your hands to take out 3 dark ones, which, yeah, is not a chore.
Yeah, it's not difficult
really
at all.
But once you've beat the dark ones, then the Necronomicon is like floating in the air where the dark ones were standing. Mm-hmm. And it's a meter that fills up that you got to just defend the Necronomicon from invading
It
boards.
is very difficult.
And that's where that's where the difficulty level increases. It's not defeating the dark ones, it's protecting the book for the time, because it has a meter. Like, if the demons can destroy the book before the time runs out, they win.
But you sent me a picture of some kind of exploiting a little trickery to defending the book, which I have yet to do in person, but
it would take a very
calculated
team.
But it's very close to the old okey doke we used to pull on Friday the 13th called Child Psychology. And what that is if you get to the end of your match in the Evil Dead game, if you have your players all park cars around the pages.
Just triangle a bunch of cars, making a barrier. Mm-hmm. You can't. I hate that too. You can't jump in this game.
It is kind of bullshit.
It's literally that, like, well, a log's in the way. I can't cross this. Mm-hmm. I can't step over this shit. And you got to take a long routes to get around stuff, which drives me nuts. But yeah, I'd like to try that sometimes. The car parking around the Necronomicon to see if it works. Like, if they're not spawning in that little circle.
But they could possess the cars.
They can't. Yeah, you can't possess the cars, and you can't possess players inside that circle too. So it's there's ways around it. You're not quite as fucked as you were in Friday the 13th.
Yeah, they never saw that coming, and they never fixed it.
No, I think we're the only ones that I never saw anybody else ever attempt that. I think that's something we found, and it was exclusive to us.
Right.
And we played days worth of hours on Friday the 13th.
Absolutely.
And I never saw that happen.
It was only us. We're the innovators. If you want to go back and play Friday the 13th, what we're referring to with the Child Psychology cabin is the Packanack level. Either or, large or small, doesn't matter. There is a cabin that's the one cabin on stilts directly up the path from the Packanack Lodge. If you take a car and park it blocking the little porch steps that go into that cabin. The only other way into that cabin is one window on the back side of that cabin.
We can climb through, but Jason doesn't climb through windows, and he can't blow through a wall, apparently, so he's just stuck there staring at you.
Throwing a bunch of fucking throwing knives, trying to kill you.
Yeah, he's got to go mine a bunch of throwing knives, which now I imagine hackers would just... You would start with 1 million throwing knives. Because I've seen screencasts of people hacking on Evil Dead where, like, it's just a screenshot and there's just, as far as the eye can see, skeletons attacking.
Oh, no.
And then the other end of that spectrum, I've seen people with just shimp colas everywhere. It looks like the neckbeard nest in the woods. Just cans as far as you can see.
So you can spawn in a whole bunch of those? I didn't. That's weird.
Man, these hackers can do anything nowadays. They're just out to ruin everything. Where are these guys? These guys just need to focus on the ones that are like in Friday the 13th the game, making new levels, new kills, new costumes, putting fucking Freddy Krueger in the damn match. That stuff is fine, but yeah, these other folks are just out to ruin shit and just make it a pain in the dick for all of us playing Evil Dead the game. Which, yeah, we're still waiting on DLCs, which I talked about Chet coming. We do know that the castle map is on its way. They did sell it in two different packages. You had the basic, like just the game, which is what you grabbed.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Which it's just a $40 game and not super expensive, mainly because it's 90%
multiplayer.
Multiplayer online stuff. Although there is offline mode. You can still level up your character playing offline, but I guess the XP is like a half or something. Like, you definitely don't earn as much as often than if you're playing online with other people. But they did sell, and what I got for $60, you could have gotten the game plus the year pass, which always sets you up for you don't have to pay extra for whatever DLCs they release
in that first year.
For the first year, or I really never had a time stamped for just particular years. Like, I've just got whatever DLCs they put out for it. I'm like, and I'm suffering from that Friday the 13th syndrome. I'm like, I want them, give them to me.
Right.
So they've not had any drop yet, but I mean, they have to have some shit plan. They can't. I would want to think they wouldn't put out like a year pass if they didn't have shit planned to be dropping at some point.
Yeah, that's one thing, is that they haven't released like a roadmap. Like, Friday the 13th was very good about that. Like, here's a roadmap, like, in July you're gonna get this. After the initial launch, because that initial launch was really, really rocky. But once the game like got its footing, they would constantly let you know, like, this is coming. You will have this. This is coming. This patch is coming. This DLC is coming. Whatever. And they do little cool trailers for this stuff. As far as the Evil Dead game goes, fingers crossed that we do get good old reliable Jake, which I know we talked about when we covered Evil Dead 2. There's so many characters left to bring to this game, so people like me will not get annoyed at playing with 3 Ashes. It annoys the ever-loving shit out of me. I get it, he's the hero, but come on, man.
I mean, I genuinely think that some people playing it are playing it just for the abilities that particular Ash has. Like,
right.
I had no real motivation from Jump Street to play as any of the Ashes, but I mean, the one Ash has taken away fear, which is kind of fucking helpful in a lot of aspects. And the other one will instantly, Evil Dead 2 Ash, his first ability is if someone's possessed, he can unpossess them.
Right.
Repossess them, I guess you could say. And that's been super helpful, because nothing is more of a pain in the dick than somebody else getting possessed by the demon.
Right. We just need more extra characters who have those same types of abilities, so people don't just want to pick Ash. You know what I mean? Like, that's the ebb and flow, the give and take that I think needs to happen. But again, I'm not a gamer, so I guess people just want to play as Ash. They want the hero, and like you said, the corresponding ability with the hero. So, but it does make for some ridiculous games with 3 fucking ashes with all, you know.
I know it's one of the achievements if you can get 4 ashes all in a group together. But I do think it's a double-edged sword, though, going back to the Friday the 13th timeline they put out for DLCs. Because then we have had expectations, and some shit we never, ever got.
Like Paranoia.
We never got Paranoia. We never got... I know that at some point they were talking like that you could customize the cars, like with decals and stickers and paints and shit. Never got that. And more clothing options. I know that were supposed to come out like it was like a nighttime set, like a sleepy time.
Yeah.
Pajamas. That was supposed to be something that came out, and we never got... Maybe ignorance is bliss on this. I don't know what's coming for Evil Dead the game, but I'll take whatever it is and it's here. There it is. Enjoy. Maybe that's the trade-off is I don't know what's coming, so I can't be disappointed if it doesn't show up.
And see, that's the other thing is, we've talked about it in podcasts. We've talked about it in live streams and in person, where there was something deep inside of us when it came to the Friday the 13th game. Like, we were so excited. We consumed every morsel of information from multiple sources. That's where this whole YouTube thing actually started. Like, we started following a bunch of people, including Slash and Cast, Charmin X Soft, Laughin', like all these guys that we watched when that beta came out, and then just depended on them for news, and actually is why I got Twitter, so I could follow Wes Keltner, just so I knew what was going on with the game. And when this Evil Dead game got announced, like, you and I were both like, see that trailer? That's pretty cool. Like, yeah, I'm cool. I'm ready to see this. I'll play it. And like, that's almost where it ended. Like, we didn't like
the best way that I could compare that is, yeah, we watched like a 40-minute video on people finding hidden things in the Friday the 13th game cabin. And we would just sit there and just watch videos on it. And when beta was released for Evil Dead, we both watched a video, and we had kind of the same reaction back to each other. Was like, do you know what the point of this game is? Like, how to play it? Like, I don't. And like, I guess we'll just figure it out when we play it.
Yeah, we didn't get like overly excited, but I will tell you this: seeing the like comparison trailer thing that the Texas Chainsaw Massacre put out, like, this is from the movie, this is from the game, really got me excited. And then they dropped the actual trailer, and I went, yes, I'm excited. And I was bummed at first because you and I had discussed, like, well, it's next gen consoles. We're gonna have to save up podcast money, YouTube money, movie money, like real life money.
I loved your you were very much in the positive and like, we can do this. We can get new consoles and a copy of that game by the time it comes out next year. And I was like, that's like $1,500.
That really stung because I did not realize the consoles were $700.
Yes, new consoles are not fucking cheap, and the games are still $60. I was like, I just broke that down. I was like, dude, for us to get that, I was like, it's gonna be like half the cost of making a movie. Yeah.
And then the trailer dropped, like the actual gameplay trailer, and I had sent it to you, and as soon as like the trailer ended, I just shut it off. Like, I didn't stick around. There's like a stinger after the trailer too, which I...
Really?
Yeah, where...
I guess I still know.
The hitchhiker says something like, oh, do you ever try taking their pictures or some shit?
Yeah, I did see that.
But then it brings up at the bottom what consoles it's available for. So I completely missed that, and that's where we were discussing like how much money we were going to have to actually spend. And then I messaged Riley from Slash and Cast, and I was like, is this like specifically for new consoles? And he's like, no, like that's why they pushed it back a year, is they're going to give it to Xbox 360 and PS4, or Xbox 360, Xbox One. Well, that would be real bad. Yeah,
they're going real far back.
Xbox One and PS4. And so I rewatched the trailer, and of course, down at the bottom it says all the consoles. Yes. And so I messaged you immediately, like, dude, we're saved. That's only $140. Like, I'm down with that. So, or if we get Holy Shit editions, it's only $300, which is totally fine. And so
that was my bid. I wanted to do that for this one because when Friday the 13th came out, they had a Holy Shit edition, which included the infamous Savini skin that a lot of,
Rush got that.
Yeah, he got that, our boy Rush. But we just got the basic editions because we were part of the
first Kickstarter wave.
Kickstarter, whatever the
$60 or $50 wave.
Yeah, and that was both at a time where we had to really negotiate with the wives. We're gonna spend $60 on something that doesn't exist yet. Is that cool? And then when Evil Dead came out, there was a really cool Holy Shit edition of it that included fucking T-shirt, a record. A replica Necronomicon that Trick or Treat Studios put out, a concept art book, all kinds of stuff, and of course they had a Savini skin for Ash for that, which I was not at all impressed or interested in that Savini skin. I think it's a pretty widespread word that even Tom said he phoned in this design because yeah, it looks like it what the fuck is this? It's Ash with it looks like the Crow.
Yeah.
With a barbed wire on his chainsaw arm the fucking Sandman from ECW or some shit. I'm neat, but no.
No. And that yeah, because we got real excited over Savini Jason. He had cool music, he had a cool look, cool weapon, and it was just different enough.
I felt like we could have made, with old Atari games, we had to, with some of them things, you had to make up your own story on what is going on here. And I feel like we could do that. We could make up Savini Jason's backstory pretty easily.
Yeah.
I look at Savini Ash and I'm I don't know what went wrong. What happened to this man? I don't know. But yeah, we're if this happens for Texas Chainsaw, I was you know what? I'd like one time for one game. Watch now, fucking Elm Street will be what's next, and I'll be pissed. I was
we'll get
but
that
but one time I want to get the Holy Shit edition of whatever they have for this slasher game, and let's do it for Texas Chainsaw since we're saving, not spending $1,500 for 2 consoles and 2 games next gen. We're just getting the game. Let's get some Holy Shit editions if they're doing it, and then we can be like everybody else and make a YouTube video of us unboxing this shit and then playing the shit.
I'm fucking genuinely excited for Texas Chainsaw, and I don't want to take away, I don't want to badmouth this Evil Dead game because that's kind of how it comes across, that you really like it and I don't like it, and I do like it, I just don't have the time, I guess. I feel like I don't have the time because the game doesn't excite me as much as I wanted it to excite me. Perfect example is the Shredder's Revenge just came out, and you and I have played Shredder's Revenge, I think, more times than we've played Evil Dead. That I was excited for. I've been waiting for that for a year, and you and I are both still waiting for January 1st so we can get the Turtle collection. Those things excite me. The Evil Dead game it didn't raise my excitement level. I don't know. So I gotta get a couple more games under my belt.
I think if we had a crew, the right crew that was accessible to play when we were going to play, I think it'd be a bit more. I feel like it would definitely tide over for the next 9 months to whatever it is till we get Texas Chainsaw.
Yeah.
So I think we just got to find the right combination to get you on. I'm still more. I don't know. I'm in kind of a mode of I want to just level up my guys.
Yeah.
And that's already. I mean, shit. I've already seen people post in the subreddit they have 1 million fucking spirit points that are unused. They've maxed out their overall playing ranking to 100. All their guys are maxed to 25, which is the top you can rank any of the survivors. Is at 25.
That'll be in the first update. It'll be you can prestige.
Oh, they'll bump it to 101 it like they did Friday,
and then 150, and then just give you double XP until the game gets buried.
Well, see, hopefully that's the other thing is this is a different company altogether than what has done Friday the 13th, and Friday the 13th, of course, had its rights issues that locked it in place. And it's fucking weird that Evil Dead is way more complex in its rights. You start that game up, they gotta fucking give rights to 7 different companies, but they've got them all in there. And I was and I feel like it's gonna be more stable and not get caught up in a rights issue like Friday the 13th did, which I think even Nightmare on Elm Street is having, like, has rights issues.
A little bit, yeah.
How the fuck does all these have issues? And then the one that has had every issue under the sun trying to get a goddamn prequel opening put together is able to put a game out, and it's got no problems at all. Everyone's like, yeah, we're cool.
Yeah, I just don't get it. And that Friday the 13th thing, I'll forever be bitter until we just lock Victor Miller and Sean Cunningham in a room with one barbed wire baseball bat and say...
I just want to do the fucking Dark Knight thing, is break a pool, like, queue in half and be like, we only got room for one of you.
Yeah, whoever comes out of this room alive
owns the rights.
Yeah, you own Jason.
Go.
Josh Vornos. You own Josh Vornos forever.
You get Jason, you get Josh.
Yeah.
Go.
Done. Yeah, because Victor Miller. Yeah, we'll get into that some other time.
We've already done all that. Until they make a new movie, we're done with the Friday the 13th world. We got to go just forward and beyond. And we can't go any more forward until we delve into the other half of the spectrum. We've tried our best to talk as good as we could about this game, but it's time to get into the nitty gritty. Some people that just didn't like this shit at all. And it took a while to actually find people to start rating this game officially.
They're all me.
These are all Roger aliases.
They're my aliases, yeah.
One of these I do 100% believe is your name, but
Rusty Shackelford?
Close. We will get there, but it's time for the Amazon 1-star reviews.
Hated it.
All right, so Roger's first alias here is, are you Taylor Crone?
I could be.
What were you doing on March 16, 2022?
Writing an Amazon review.
Well, you did, because this says 1 star, broken on Xbox. Most Xbox players can't play. That's true. It never gets past the loading screen. Haven't been able to play a single match. Also, the tacked-on 2-hour solo campaign is utter trash. No checkpoints, so dying 15 minutes into a mission send you to the very start. Skip this one.
That's a Nintendo game right there.
That is disheartening to get. I mean, the missions aren't fucking long, but they are brutal. And when you die, yeah, I gotta start this all over again. Fuck. Fuck.
Yeah, at least with the Friday the 13th game, don't you just go back to your last kill, like when you fail the mission? I can't remember. It's been so long.
I don't even remember, but that one was so like you had to do everything in a specific order. This is a little bit more fluid. You still have like an overall objective, like kill all these things to get over here. And it's just a pain because you are limited on your health, and they are vicious as shit coming after you. All right. Are you also known as Unit 543?
That might be remixed. Beep boop bop.
On May 15, 2022, 1 star online only equals dead game after a week.
Yes. Not Aliens Fireteam. That was another one. We were fucking excited about that one. We played it like 3 times, and it's gone. It's dead. We just saw it on it's down to 50% off.
It's still getting updates. I've gotten like 4 updates for it. And like an idiot, I'm still updating the goddamn game.
Please don't let us die.
It wasn't bad, but
No.
like there wasn't. I don't know. It felt very PS2.
Yeah.
Like it felt very retro, and not in the best way in its mechanics. Mm-hmm. And
It didn't have anything else to offer other than shooting aliens. That's it. Like,
that should be enough.
Well,
like in theory, you say that to us, and we're like, cool. I don't want to do anything else. Mm-hmm. But I guess we need something.
there's got to be some sort of... Well, again, Friday the 13th got it right. There was multiple ways to win, multiple ways to lose, like things to do, objectives, things to keep you busy other than run to the end of this corridor and wait for this wave. Okay.
Well, I mean, speaking of aliens you can kill in online games, I've not heard a peep in literally probably since like we after came out. Have you heard anything about the Predator game that was exclusive to like Sony, PlayStation?
I think it's dead too.
Hunting
Grounds.
Yeah, I think that was dead just because they were like, it's going to be exclusive just to this console. Like, well, that's your first fucking mistake there.
Well, so before you move on, I was actually looking at Slash and Cast's YouTube channel and their playlist.
2 videos.
They have 2 for the Predator game. And if you look at their Friday the 13th folder, it's like 4 years of content. They're still going back and playing Friday the 13th.
Oh, yeah, they still do that. Yeah, like drunk live streams playing Friday the 13th.
So that'll tell you.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, Aliens and Predators, I feel if they just, one, made it, cross-platform and different consoles, and you put characters from the movie in there, it might have done better. And bump the quality of the gameplay to this generation's console abilities.
Focus on the movie fan base, not the gamer fan base. Because the gamer fan base
is short-lived.
They move on as soon as the next thing drops. Whereas if you're a franchise fan, like you and I with the Friday the 13th game, that was 5 years of entertainment.
Oh, yeah.
More, we just haven't played it in a hot minute. But, like, there's never a time where if you're like, you want to play some Friday? Like, then I'm going to go, no. Yes, let's do that.
Evil Dead the game, I'm like, hey, you want to play? You're like, I've got a thing.
Look at the time. Got to get something on paper.
Well, I've got a thing to do. Tape Ed 2 ain't going to write itself. You're shooting now. I got to go.
Rewrites.
I'm in a tunnel. All right, back into the 1 stars. MJ McHugh, May 13th, 2022. 1 star, beware, this game is online only. The description here mentions multiplay, but it does not say you can only play this game online. What a waste. 17 people found that helpful.
Well,
that's a record.
Yeah, that's good. That is up there. That's the entire player base. All 17 of them found it helpful.
I know at least 4, so. And I'm including myself in that, too. All right, these next 2 are my favorites. This is from the Reverend Terry Rice. May 14th, 2022. I hope this is a real Reverend. 1 star, unplayable. Pre-order the collector's edition. Pre-ordered the collector's edition. So he got that holy shit. He's got the Reverend Terry Rice has the record, the t-shirt, and the book.
It's in the fucking back room at the church.
Got it on the release day and have yet to be able to play a single match. You can pick a character with a team of 4 survivors, then it never loads into a match. If you try to play as a demon, it never finds a match at all. Was excited for this game, but ultimately let down. Spent a lot of money for a fancy box for a game we can't play.
More importantly, why is the Reverend playing as the evil?
I mean, it seems most appropriate to me. Like, he's going to do holy shit. He's going to play as that Kandarian demon.
Gotta see how the other side lives.
And this one, I'm positive is you. This is from Pei Yun Chow.
Oh, really?
Pei Yun Chow. PEI space YUAN space Chow.
Okay.
May 19th, 2022. May 19th. If you're a wrestling fan in like 05, you'll know what that's all about. It's really... I'm going to be living into that stereotype, like, not a racist, but it's hard not to want to go into a very stereotypically racist tone for what this review is.
South Park, ni hao ma. You know China and Japan are different countries?
This is the title, and then there's the description, but I'm just going to do them back to back, one after the other, because I feel it just flows.
Okay.
Pei Yun Chow's what says this flows. No good, bad game. Exclamation points on both of those.
No good, bad game.
No good, bad game. So...
You didn't do that in an offensive dialect, I don't feel.
But I wanted to.
You want... It's alright. It's alright.
But, yeah, and for that's where I will throw, just to keep things in line, I will throw some of the player base into the coveted brown panty achievement for this episode. Is if you're not dealing with hackers, you're dealing with exactly the thing that they mentioned in the game, in the Honest Game trailers, is like, this is a game that's pretty much a make or break. If you're not a maxed out character, you cannot go running off on your own. And everybody Most people aren't mic'd up when they play, which I'm mostly not really mic'd up either.
Unless we're in our party, yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk to each other, but I don't want to talk to a bunch of randos. But everybody is not mic'd up and immediately fucking spread out and go every other direction. So it's instantly like, I'm going to go get a beer. You want one? I'll be right back.
I'll see you in the kitchen with a knife.
Dead.
Yeah.
And nobody has sympathy for me either. Like, you see a Kelly run off and get her ass kicked and killed. Three other players are like, fuck them. Mm-hmm. They're like, everyone's like, that's what you get.
Yeah, exactly. Stick together. Like, tight-knit, stuck together. And the reason being, like the way I always play with Scotty, like, using my special attack, it helps when we're all together. So like you kind of like feed off of each other with your special attacks, and it's easier to progress when you have extra hands swinging at deadites.
Oh yeah, everything goes faster.
Yeah.
It's the Ninja Turtles theory. Mm-hmm. If you work as a team, everything's going to go fine.
Yep.
You want to Raphael that shit, you're going to get your ass kicked and thrown through a plate glass window of an antique store.
You guys must study the Bridge Book of Deaditing.
But that's about everything for playing Evil Dead the game, except for now we got to go meta and play the game. The game. Are you ready to play the game?
I'm ready to pay the price.
Put in a quarter. Press play.
It's time to play the game. Time to play the game!
It's all about the game and how you play it. I don't got nothing. Let's just play this game.
Come, get some. So if you're new here, welcome. And you're probably wondering, what is the game? Well, allow me to let you know. The game is a deep cut in and of itself, where you have to pick a prop from the film that we are covering. In this case, we're covering a game. We are covering the Evil Dead game. And so your prop has to be a deep cut. It cannot be a well-known prop. Since this is the Evil Dead game, you can't say Ash's Chainsaw, the Delta, the Necronomicon, the Dagger. Those are all low-hanging fruit. You gotta pick something a little bit more obscure. So, as Evil likes to say, go deep.
Or just get the fuck out of Dodge. Get out of the Dodge.
Yes, the Dodge Delta.
Get the fuck out of the Dodge.
Let us know in the comments on Spotify, the comments on whatever podcast app you use.
Shout it right now aloud, and we might hear it.
Yeah, depending on how close you are to our proximity, we may hear you randomly yelling Evil Dead props.
Get your Ricola pipe thing that they wah wah, and tell us what you want.
Yeah, let us know on our Patreon, because you can comment on the podcast there. Join our Discord. Find us on YouTube at 3B Video. And links to all of our things.
All the bullshits.
Is in every single YouTube video. So find us, befriend us, discuss films and or video games with us.
Play with us.
Yes, forever.
Well, I don't think there's anything I couldn't not pick, but give me a fucking bottle of this pink fuck. I will play Friday the 13th one time on a ketamine-laced drink.
Oh, Lord.
What's the worst that could happen?
Yours is exactly like mine, but mine is the Shemp Cola, because we love the term Shemp. We use the term Shemp in all of our YouTube skits, and when we filmed our movie, we use a lot of shemping. In this movie that we're getting ready to film, we use shemping. Even for the sequence I shot with you.
Yeah, there's some shempage.
There's shemping happening. So
what do you think? All right. I imagine the pink fuck tastes kind of fruity, but it sneaks up on you. Like when you try to get up, you're like, I can't stand up anymore.
Like bubblegum flavored, like fucking amoxicillin.
Yes, exactly. But what does Shemp Cola taste like?
Shemp Cola is carbonated fruit punch, because that's what spews out of the fucking cellar in Evil Dead 2.
See, I was close. If I was like to guess what I think shrimp cola tastes like, it's just carbonated water.
Liquid Death?
Like, no, not Liquid Death is high end stuff. It's like Shasta sparkling water.
Gross. Yeah.
Because the shimping is, I feel, cheap or cheat. And if we're gonna go cheat, I feel like, what kind of soda you got? Pepsi
It's
or
just seltzer water?
Yeah. That goes back to like our cartoon bit we did just a long time ago. Like, where's the Coke? And you're like, no Coke, only Shasta. And it angered me. So Shasta, by definition of 3B video, is cheap ass soda.
But Shasta cream soda is the best cream soda on the planet.
I don't know if there is a good cream soda.
I don't know if we can be friends anymore.
Well, that's where we definitely differ on opinions and no longer friends, apparently.
Yeah, cream soda is delicious. Let me know if you like cream soda.
I like root beer. That's not really a cream soda guy.
Sarsaparilla?
Sioux City sarsaparilla, preferred. But that's... We're done hanging out in the woods. We're finally out of the woods. Are you glad to be done with the woods? Are you ready to move on to somewhere else?
I sure am.
Man, where do you want to go now? All the places out there we could go. What do you think about the suburbs of Illinois?
I like that idea. Perhaps do some babysitting and or some trick-or-treating.
Yeah, well, it depends. If it gets there at the right time of year, maybe we'll do that. We'll go there around the fall time frame. Heard it's very nice, but there's still a lot of green palm trees and shit around. Seemingly close to Elm Street. I think it's really close to Elm Street. I think if I was to be in one particular house, it wouldn't be that far of a walk or drive to get to an Elm Street house.
I think it's right across the goddamn street.
Or the freeway. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm ready to make the trip. I ain't afraid of no boogeyman. How about you?
I am not.
All right, we're gonna be ditching the woods and heading off to Illinois.
I think it's pronounced Illinois.
Illinois. What do you call people from there? Are they Illinoisans?
Yes.
Illinoisans. Are you from Illinois? What do they call y'all?
Illinois. At our dad jokes.
That's what people probably are by now around the fall season in this particular town, is Illinois.
On that note, I suppose we should probably get going because, after all, there's a lot of movies out there and somebody's got to watch them. So why not us, right?
Ooh, a potent of elixir.